Rip it up. What's up, people? Welcome back, Crash Flow. And today we got another rip tip. And I know I've done a lot of rip tips with early tricks in skating, barely like tricks, stuff you learn in the very, very beginning, like even good pushing and stuff like that we talked about. But I wanted to step it up a little bit for some of the skaters that follow me that have a couple moves under their belt and want to bump it up and learn something a little harder. I want to do one of my all-time favorite tricks, which is just pivot fakies. And pivot fakies is one of the best feeling tricks there is on a quarter pipe, because there's just this moment of lightness where it's like nothing, and you can pause it, and you're just on the balance of your truck. It's one of the best, funnest feeling tricks there is, really. And that goes with, feeble fakies, pivot fakies, 5-0 fakies, 50-50 fakies. They're all good to learn. They kind of go under that umbrella. So there's a lot you can get from just learning one of them, whether it's a feeble or 5-0 or pivot fakie. My favorite is pivot. I wanted to put more attention on that. But if you can pivot fakie, you can 5-0 fakie, you can 50-50 fakie, feeble fakie. They kind of all go in one. And it's just a great mini ramp trick to have. So let's go through the gamut of the ways you can learn. All right.
So before you get started, I want you to have a nice rock to fakie. And a rock to fakie where you go all the way to the top of the deck and let your back truck smack the coping. And then you come in. This is going to make everything a lot easier. So get very comfortable with doing rock to fakies all the way to the top of the deck first. Then the next step would be to do a feeble fakie. And for feeble stalls, all you have to do is turn slightly 90 compared to a rock to fakie and come all the way in. The part that's going to feel uncomfortable is having your truck on the coping at first, because your wheels are going to come all the way up, but you're going to put a lot of weight on that back foot and go right in like a rock to fakie. It's literally a very similar motion. So those are the first two steps. And you just want to get more comfortable with coming up, putting that weight on the front foot, and transferring the weight all the way on the back foot. So there's no weight on the front foot as you come in. You're just diving right back in. And you have to get very comfortable with feeble fakies first. That's a big thing that helps you get more uncomfortable before you can get 5-0 fakies or pivot fakies. And the next step would be 50-50 fakies. So you'd have to have a 50-50, and a nice way to cheat it is to start letting yourself fall in. So your weight is on the back foot, but you kind of just give it almost like a power slide as you come in. If you look here, you don't have to turn weight, you just kind of let the wheels click back in and power slide in. So you can keep doing that and getting more comfortable with the 50-50 fakies and just kind of power sliding in. But eventually you want to get a nice click and start lifting up a bit on the back truck, so you come in like a 5-0 fakie. And just take your time with that. So if you're comfortable with both of those tricks, you're ready for 5-0 fakie. And the big difference is, as you turn 90, you just want to balance all your weight on that back heel on the coping in the 5-0 stall, right there. And then turn back in. Now basically it's a weight distribution, but the fun thing about 5-0 fakies, your weight is on the back foot the whole time, but you're really looking to catch that inside wheel back into the quarter pipe, and that's how you pivot. So your weight is on your heel there, and then if you watch, I catch that wheel and turn at the same time, putting all my weight on the back foot. So you really don't have any weight on the front foot for a pivot fakie. So you're really looking to catch. It's almost like going wheel to wheel. So your weight's on your back wheel and then the front wheel. So it's just this quick turning sensation where you turn 90, balance for a second, and turn right back in, catching that front wheel on the coping to the back wheel into it at the same time. And you don't have to sit up there too long. Like, it gets comfortable to sit up there, but when you're just learning, you can do it really quick, turn in and out. And you just lift up, but you're keeping all that weight on the back. And it just naturally goes right in.
Before we keep going, I just want to make sure, like I was saying, to start out, you got to have a good rock to fakie and 5-0 stall. And if you're going to want to do 50-50 fakies or 5-0 fakies, you want to just make sure you have a good 50-50s, good feeble stalls, feeble grinds, or, you know, and good 5-0 grinds, because once you have those very comfortable, going to fakie is going to be that much easier. So before you move on, just make sure you got all those under your belt first. Then you can start doing the long 50 fakies and keeping it going.
So then when you get comfortable, you're going to want to start grinding everything. So you just got to go a little faster to get a nice grind. And when you're 50, you could just put the weight on the heels and then transfer it right back in and lift up and turn in, just like we were doing before. It might be a little scarier because it's faster to catch the wheels, but it's that same motion turning 90 and just clicking those wheels right in and transferring your weight on that back foot. And as you can hear, you want to catch those wheels. And as soon as they catch that inside wheel, you can just lift right into it. So you almost start grinding sideways on the coping a little bit, but you never want to hesitate. You always want it to be quick. The quicker, the easier it is. So it might be scary, but just don't hesitate and come right in the same way we were doing with the stalls. No difference. And just try to get more comfortable with doing the 50-50 fakies. Then you should be ready for 5-0 fakies. And it's literally the same thing as a pivot fakie, but you just has more momentum, so it's going to be a little scary. But there's different ways you can do it. You can grind all the way till you stop, and then it just becomes the same motion as a pivot fakie. Or, which is a little scarier, doing it all in one motion, which would be standing up, grinding as far as you can, and pushing it right back in with that little click or power slide. You're really going to want to wait till you hear that click in the wheels as you come in. But it's no scarier than a pivot fakie or 50-50 fakie. It's kind of more in your head. Skateboarding is always very mental. So you just want to give yourself that time to grind it out and then pivot right in, just like the stall. And it's like a 2-part, series trick. And you can do it all in one really fast as you get better, or just grind them, listen for the wheel click, and come right in, just like we were talking about earlier. And it's literally no difference. So you just keep doing them and getting better at it. So there you go. Not much instruction at the end with a 5-0 fakie, because it's basically the same thing as a pivot fakie. But if you notice, the difference is I'm not actually 5-0, I'm salad grinding, and that's more of a comfortable way. You want to sit your weight on the back heel into a salad grind fakie. That's usually how you want to do it on a quarter pipe or transition. And why we call them salad grinds is Eric Dressing, hence the name salad grind. He was like the first person to really start, doing that trick, front side or back side, really amazing, way back in the day. And if you don't know him, you should look him up. Eric Dressing, legendary skater, one of my all-time favorite dudes to just watch on a board, and especially mini ramps. He's great to watch on mini ramps. So yeah, it's a pretty straightforward trick, but one of the funnest parts about being able to do it is just a pivot fakie. That's why I wanted to do it, but they all kind of went together: feeble fakie, 5-0 fakie, 50-50 fakie. So I did them all, but a pivot fakie is such a special trick because there's just like this moment of just, it's like weightless energy for a quick second as your truck is on the coping. I can't describe it, so I wish everybody could have that trick, because it's just an amazing feeling when you're just weightless for one hot second on a pivot fakie and you come right back in. But yeah, as you go faster, it's a little scarier, but it's really not that bad. It's just about keeping that weight on that back foot. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you go out and learn them if you can't do them, because it's a great feeling. All right, guys, bless up.